Namaste and welcome to Shri and Kira Exploring the Mysteries. I am Shri Ram Ka.
And I am Kira Ra, and we are, Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy New Decade. Welcome to the moment. And as we start this extraordinary show with you today, we want to give our shout out to tfrlive.com, where we are broadcasting. Namaste. Hi, everyone. So grateful to be with you. Over to onenesstalkradio.com, where you can chat, you can listen, you can watch, and of course, you can call in. And boy, are those phone lines filling up. You can tell it's a new year. 517-208-1500. 517-208-1500. And of course, Shri, we're over at YouTube, right?
We're at YouTube, official Shri and Kira YouTube channel, and also Oneness Talk Radio YouTube channel and Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. And so
pick
welcome.
Your preference.
Yeah, exactly. We're just so grateful to be with you. And you know, if you're on our newsletter list, and I hope you all are, you might have received the e-card about this weekend, because it really is a hold on moment, meaning 2020 is here. You are ready, and this is an exquisite dance that has already begun. We have so many energies that have come together right now, and so much that is happening, and it's just such a blessing to be with everyone right now.
Absolutely, because we're in a momentous time.
Yeah.
You know, 2019, built, push, broke, push. We had all kinds of experiences. But what would happen is every one of us has been opened up and supported in a beautiful way. And 2020, I love the wings behind my head.
I do too. Those of you that are watching us, you know, 2020 is really the flight of the infinite presence. And so that's why we have this background today.
And there's so much balance and harmony coming for us, and lift and lift and lift. So let's get into it. Let's be here.
Let's be here now. And speaking of being here now, you know, as Shri and I are gazing out at the Compadres Mountains here that we see from our studio, it is one of those picture-perfect moments here in Ecuador. And speaking of picture-perfect moments, I do want to give a big shout-out to all of our beautiful beings that are with us, that have been with us through the new year, that are actually downstairs watching this broadcast, because our studio is not big enough to put everybody in. So, hi, everybody. We love you. We are so excited you are here with us right now. And also, just want to offer a big moment of thank you to all of you that were with us on New Year's Eve. We sincerely bow before you, because the co-created experience that came in New Year's Eve was so beyond anything. You know, it was the very first time that the divine directors came in through me the way that they have been preparing my body for now for almost like 5 months. And what came through was really a very extraordinary, I'm going to use even the word exquisite, attunement that was more than an attunement. It was like an attunement. It was an initiation. It was a DNA opening.
Yep.
And this is very indicative of this extraordinary moment that's before all of us right now. 2020 is about an energy flow, and it's about our ability to really be in our multidimensional anchorship, to really say yes to who we are. And I think, Shri, as you were just sharing, that in 2019, we were all invited to kind of say, hey, are you going to up level or not? Because the up level experience is now. It's right now. And everything is up-leveling. Remember that up-leveling doesn't just mean it's a conscious moment where you want to attain a greater sense of your own oneness. It is an up-level energy. So everything is up-leveling, guys. Everything.
And we are indeed gaining acceleration on this Ascension escalator that we've been riding on. And you know,
which we only have 2 years left. I mean, check that out, right? This started in 2015.
That means the crescendo is upon us.
Yes.
And this is a quantum escalator. So the one thing I want to say is that, my experience of 2019, and I think for so many people, it was an opportunity to really make sure you were clear.
Yeah.
Whatever experience you had, whatever challenges you had, whatever blessings you had, they happened so that you would be clear on your choices and your commitment and your tenacity. Because those qualities, choice, commitment, tenacity, are required to continue the journey forward. And in a conscious way, anyway.
Well, I was going to say, because choice, commitment, and tenacity is happening at all levels of consciousness. The question is, are you aware? Right? That's because it's always awareness and experience and choice.
Absolutely. And so here we are at the threshold where
you have a little critter. I'm taking this critter off of my husband and saying, all right, critter, you can go there.
You walk over there.
All right.
And so what we have here in 2020 is January has just begun. And Kira was mentioning the New Year's Eve ensoulment, which was a powerful initiation and attunement. We also got a taste that there's more to come.
A lot more. Yeah.
And so we encourage you to visit that one more than once because...
Well, how can they revisit it, Sri?
Well, there's two ways. One is the 2020 New Year's Eve video is already posted at YouTube, and it's the full video. We will be posting just the ensoulment tomorrow, so that you can just go and keep tuning in with that.
And we'll send out an e-card. So, hey, if you're not on our e-card list, get on it. ShriandKira.com. It's free, and that way you get all of the announcements.
Absolutely. So here we are, gang. If you would like to call in and join the conversation,
I don't even know if we have a line left. We might.
517-208-1500. And 517-208-1500, because we enjoy hearing from you. And also, one of the things I want to remind you about is that in this new year, there's some new things coming, not the least of which is Kira Ra's Bhagavad Gita sharing. Now, this is the Ascended Bhagavad Gita that she's going to be sharing about beginning in February. And I just want to alert you to tune in with that opportunity because it's powerful and it will support you for several weeks.
Actually, it's a 9-week journey, and we're going to be going through the entire Bhagavad Gita. And one of the reasons, I guess you're bringing this up right now, kind of caught me off guard here, but thank you. I appreciate it, is because I have been studying the Bhagavad Gita for many, 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 many years. Many of you know I am a Gita scholar, but what I've been doing is unlocking the ascended energy. And the Bhagavad Gita is filled with ascended messages, and it's about opening up and seeing those keys. So this 9-week journey is about unlocking the ascended consciousness from within that universal eternal text that will ignite the ascended presence within. So I'm very excited to do this. I had always been aware, the ascended masters had always shared with me that there would come a moment in my life that I would be a little older when I did it. So I am excited. I am excited to be bringing that forward. And hey, join me. It's going to be an amazing journey. We're going to begin February 3rd, and all the details are at ShriandKira.com.
And so 2020, this is just one of the things about the ascended energy, because the 2 and the 2, the 0 and the 0, God, I still delight in that. And I still delight in the perfect harmony and the balance that is upon us.
The 4 plus the double infinite.
And so let's dance with that throughout the year.
Well, not only are we going to dance with that throughout the year, I think what's so resonant right now is that so as we all know, right, let's just kind of backtrack a minute and build up into these energy flows, because are you feeling it? Are you feeling as this like everything is spinning in a different direction, or it's shifting somehow, or things are moving around you? Well, the reality is they are. They just are, because this is such an really exquisite moment of presence. And when presence ignites, everything shifts. So if we go back a few weeks, we've been sharing that one of the gifts of this presence energy, one of the great profound shifts that's opening up, and a little later we're going to be showing you the energy flows if you're watching us. And if you're not watching us, we're going to make sure we describe them well enough that you can hear them. But one of the great profound shifts that came forward, and right now, it's already happening. It started, remember, December 1 was when 2020 gave us kind of this long, slow ramp up, is that the physical body is offering an opportunity to come into harmonious partnership with the soul energy in a way that has not ever happened before, ever. So if you have studied spirituality, if you have been aware of things of this nature, many of the masters of past time in this co-creative illusion that we're all enjoying right now get to a certain moment where they either consciously leave their body, or the body says, I'm complete, the spirit surrenders. And often it was after attaining a level of vibration or consciousness that is now available to be obtained with this body of form for the first time. Now, this is like, we should be sounding the cymbals, clashing, we should just be like blowing the horns, doing the dance.
Hallelujah.
Right, because this is, not a lot of people are talking about this, because in order to really share it, you need to be experiencing that level. And that can only come through absolute trust of the body of form and the way that it may be acting out to support your divine commitment to upliftment. Now, this is certainly not for everyone. However, we are in a year of the master's experience. Remember, this is what's so powerful. 2020 is the year of mastery experience. January is also an experience month, and this decade, the 2020s, are a decade of experience. So in order for all of us to thrive, in order for each being to thrive through all of this experience energy, because you're going to feel like, will this ever stop? The answer is yes, if you allow the sacred union of the physical form to become one with the soul energy, so that it's more than just a perception of the soul leading. It's the visceral, tangible, visible presence as a unified stream of consciousness that is now able to be illuminated. And that's a really big moment, especially since we're looking at the next 2020 through 2029, we are in experience. And that's going to be pretty profound.
Well, it's very powerful what you shared.
Because we just came out of awareness. All right. The 2010 through 2019 was about mastery awareness.
And so here we are now in a unique synergy between the body and the soul.
Oh, yeah.
And that synergy is truly a sacred union.
Yeah.
And we are in a place where so often in the past, people have been kind of doing battle with their body, critical of themselves, their appearance, upset with themselves when they get ill, or
not listening to the body,
and
right?
not listening as the body is saying, I don't really like that, or I don't, whatever the signal is. It's there's also an awareness there that we have written about in our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, which we call soul nourishment. When we are nourishing ourselves, what you put into your body affects how you will be. And oftentimes people are in the habit of eating for their ego, meaning, going for the sugars and things like that.
Well, it's also, I know it's more than that. I think when we eat for our ego, what we're also saying is that the ego is telling you, oh, you must eat that. Oh, you have to eat that.
You're supposed to.
Versus the soul is leading. And this is part of that dance of sacred union.
You're right. And that's why I want to tie that in. Because habits are really ingrained over a period of years, and it's time to ease them a bit. So the piece about really listening inwardly from your soul, not from your ego, because the ego puts a layer of beliefs on things and shoulds and shouldn'ts.
Exactly.
The soul is just responding to the energy. It's just here. And the body is seeking to up-level with you, increasing your vibrational rate. So we must pay attention in a new way. We must listen with our hearts open. We must be available and present to our own process in order to have a truly sacred union with the body.
So how can we do that? How can that happen, right, in this year of dynamic energy flows? Well, Shri, can you put up the witness? We want to remind you, and we're going to, for those of you that are watching right now, we're going to put up a graphic. But remember this, right? This is now more important than it ever has been. And what you're gazing at, for those of you that are staring and those of you that are listening, let's explain it. Our third dimensional, quote unquote, self exists and is able to witness itself. In other words, oftentimes on the beginning of our spiritual journey, we learn how to witness. And this is a wonderful state of being. However, in that moment of the witness, we're oftentimes reinforcing our density experience through that witness energy. Now, last year, 2019, was the first time that fifth dimensional anchor ship was allowing us to be the witnesser of the third dimensional witness. And how do we stay there? Compassion. And that compassion begins with the compassion for our own divine presence. And through the experiences that we have all been going through, the seventh and ninth dimensional portals are wide open. This is such an extraordinary moment. And because of that, for many, it has felt destabilizing. Many are not sure. There's lots of different energies that have come in with this, because remember, energy is neutral. However, when we lift from the compassion of the fifth dimensional witnesser into the seventh dimension, we first start becoming aware of ourselves, witnessing the witnesser. And this is where judgment, especially self-judgment, melts. And then judgment of all other experiences melt. And through that melting and that consciousness, that awareness that we are witnessing the witnesser, that is the witness of the third dimension, we lift again into the ninth dimension, where we become the witness that is witnessing the witnesser of the third dimensional experience. And this is a moment of divine witness energy, meaning that as you dive into January 2020, as you dive into this decade, as you dive ahead into all that's coming forward for us, are you a witness of the ninth dimension, or are you a witness in the third dimension? And both of these energies are very strong right now, extremely strong right now. And so in January, another month of experience, the energy that is around us is part of that. The year is this dragonfly energy, this whole overarching dragonfly. And the dragonfly has called in, and it's a dance. It's actually a dance. And so this dance has with it, kind of on the wings, right? It has with it on the wings, profound shift, number one. I mean, just seriously profound shift. And then the next thing that you have going in this incredible year is this visionary transformation through timeline adaptation. And we're going to talk a lot about that, because that's through the whole year. However, every one of these energies is already here. They're already intertwining. Now, through that is this overarching cycle that is literally the awakening of the self-ascended presence. And when we awaken our self-ascended presence, what we're really doing is saying yes to who we truly are. But the key, and it's a big key, is that to anchor this fifth dimensional compassion, this seventh dimensional lack of judgment, to rise into that ninth dimensional witness, means that doubt and fear need to be released. Otherwise, it is the doubt and fear that will assist that third dimension to remain very strong. Remember, everything is up-leveling, including the energy of the third dimension. Energy is neutral. And so when the up-level energy is here for 2020, everything can up-level. You are paying attention. You are here. You are connecting with this show and this extraordinary community. What does that mean? It means you're choosing to consciously up-level. You're choosing to receive this energy as the gift it is, rather than just be overwhelmed by this energy in the third dimension and start totally freaking out.
There's a lot happening.
So much happening. Oh, my goodness gracious.
And one of the things I want to offer, because sometimes we ourselves don't really have the big picture.
Right.
And we're in our flow. Mm-hmm. When we look at our experiences, when we look at the qualities of things that are in our life, we will be getting feedback on the kinds of choices we have made.
Yes.
And they reflect artifacts of our own consciousness. So it's important to honor yourself and where you're at. We have intentions to move forward, yet we have the consequences of our prior choices. And so
this is true.
there's this dynamic
Part of the game, right?
Dynamic that goes on, and we're able, as long as we're able to really hold an ascended state of being, we have as an ally what we could call quantum intention. We can move through things very quickly.
Right.
We don't have to go through things in a linear cause and effect. The cause and effect and linear progression is a structure of density. Yeah. And that's where, past, present, future all seem to be in a line. Whereas as we lift in dimensional vibration, we begin to get a sense of deja vu, a sense of deja about to be. That we have a sense of things that are and will be as now. And that's feedback that you have lifted. Because time is simply that which we apply to reality in order to organize it. It's nothing more.
And it's all illusion, right? And so I'm enjoying your sharing there, Sri. You might notice my bindi is a circle, right? And the reason I put that circle on was as the reminder that as we step into 2020, we are now in a very circular moment. And this is going back to what you mentioned earlier, Sri. 2020 in Ascended Numerology is the 4 plus the double infinite. And so the 4 is what? It's perfect balance. It's the equilateral cross. So in this 4 with the double infinite, this year, are you willing to stay in the center? Are you willing to go to that still point in the center to see the bigger picture? Or are you going to be on that linear line where things can look very scary and very ominous? So this is one of the big things that's in front of everyone right now to choose. And again, in the second half of the show, we're going to be showing you the energy flows for this year and how this is all tracking. Because again, you are being invited into a sacred union partnership with your body and an anchorship of that 5th dimensional compassionate presence. And it all begins by saying, you know what, doubt and fear, I so love you for getting me here this far, and I've got this now. I got this now.
So there's a clue right there. If you find yourself, all of a sudden you've lost yourself in a reactive moment where there is fear, where there is doubt, that's the moment to kind of remember, oh, hey, wait a minute, and lift up a bit and just look at yourself like a kind, loving custodian parent would look at you and say, oh, sweetheart, it's okay.
You got this.
You've got this. Don't worry about it.
You got this.
And in the love, we lift out of the reaction. So love yourself through those lapses, those moments of difficulty, because you have that ability. You are an ascended being having an earthly life.
And I know you guys already know that. That's why you're here today. So let's expand that a little more, Sri, because in this moment of mastery, remember, this is a mastery moment, and it's one that is inviting you to say yes to the truth of who you are, to really say yes. One of the gifts that I enjoyed very much about the New Year's Eve ensoulment was that it ended with relax. Right? And it's really about if you can relax and into the gift of the you that you are, if you can trust that union, this beautiful body of form with the divine illuminator, and call in that co-creative presence, then this is a moment where literally, due to the convergence of all these energies, this will be an extraordinary year for you. This will be the year that will set the decade. It will set the decade. So look ahead. How do you want your next 10 years, your next 9 years, whatever? How do you want these experience years to be, right? 2020 through 2029. That stage is being set literally this month, guys, literally this month. So if ever there was a moment to say yes to you, this is the moment. Now, conversely, and I want to remind you all, we talked a little bit about this last week, right? But back in 2015, when the Ascension escalator began, Sri and I did put out a program called The 7 Polarities of Free Will. If you have not taken it, please go take it, because included in it is this chart. And what is this chart? Well, we literally put out, you could call them predictions or revelations, but it was just the energy as the master shared with us what happened. We literally identified for all 7 years the density energy, which was the overarching energy for the entire ascension escalator, was fear. So that was the overall, or it's known as a force of destructive, versus the force of co-creation, which is self-ascension, trust. So excuse me, we've made it, right? So you've had running alongside of this fear has been this trust energy. And as we've arrived here into 2020, what's important to remember is that what was put out in 2015 was that 2020 would be, from that force of fear, a year that would talk about doomsday, a lot of preoccupation with doomsday. There would be a lot of anger, a sense of no future. It was very much about lack of vision and a rise, an even greater rise in fundamentalism.
Yeah.
And so this we put this out in 2015. We're reading to you from the chart. However, Shri, why don't we talk to them about what that force of co-creation, that amazing trust energy, is doing this year?
So the you would call it the balancing energy that keeps the world from falling apart,
Right.
With these others is really more and more folks tuning in or becoming aligned with their divine nature.
Saying yes to you.
Your divine nature is your authentic self. It is the authenticity that everyone really yearns to be with and around and through themselves, divine nature. And also what comes forward as that co-creative force is clarity and vision.
Real vision.
And a flow of knowledge. Now we're talking about truth.
Wisdom.
And so as we look at this energy of clarity and wisdom and knowledge and the divine nature coming up, and then on the other side of the polarity is the preoccupation with anger and the lack of vision and a sense of hopelessness that's going on in density. Those are the kind of the balancing acts.
Well, and I think what's
and
important
the opportunities.
Absolutely.
What are you going to align with?
Right. And we're going to talk a lot more about this in the second half of the show. I just want to give a quick shout out to TFR Live. I know that you're going to be going into commercial break really quickly here. We will look forward to seeing you guys again at the...
Stick around.
Please stick around, because we have so much show to go. We're also going to be talking to all of our great callers here. And so I wanted to go back, though, Shri, and reinforce that. So the overarching density energy of 2020 is actually going to be hopelessness. People feeling like, why bother? Why am I even doing this? And, I have to admit, there are times when things become so large that for a fleeting moment, I do watch that energy go in front of me. Like, why do I do what I do? Why am I giving my life force to this? And the gift is that within the moment of recognizing, within the moment of awareness, right? It all begins with awareness of noticing that, the trust comes right in, because that is going to be the 2020 energy of ascension. And this is what's so beautiful is that, remember, through the whole ascension escalator, it's been trust versus fear, right? The density has been fear, and it's been just, that's been running during this whole 2015 through 2022. However, this specific year, 2020, is also the ascended energy of trust. This is the year for us all to anchor that trust. And it really needs to begin with your physical body. And, I think, Shri, that one of the things that Shri and I keep sharing with all of you is that those of you that have been with us this entire past year, and many of you have been with us for 17 years and more, and we're just so honored and love you so dearly, is that you have witnessed our physical bodies acting out this year. Our bodies got a hold of us and said, hey, if you guys are going to be part of this up level, if you're going to keep moving forward, then we got to make some changes here. And in Shri's case, it literally killed him. And you see the beauty and the blessing of being on the other side of that. And in my case, my body went into spontaneous rejection of all food and the ability to do many different things, lots of interesting realignments. And I am so grateful that I said yes to the body, that I did not deny it, because it has brought both Shri and I to where we are right now. So when we release those 2020 ascension symptoms, right there at the top is that the body is acting out because it's trying to get your attention. This is a very new acting out. It is not like the body has acted out before. It might have some similar components, but it's about, are you willing to trust what the body needs to do to sustain the frequency that your soul is ready to come forward and demonstrate?
And there's a little balancing act in there,
Yeah,
because
big balancing act, actually.
because you've got the body and you've got the mind, which
Right,
was
right.
trained by density.
Yes.
And the soul. And when the body is seeking to up-level to be a proper and wholesome vessel for the soul, and it sends a signal, we need to be mindful that our density ego mind doesn't jump in and say, I know what to do. You can kind of watch the mind, be the witness of the mind, thinking it has the answer, and then say, thanks for sharing. And we ask the body, what do you need? And pay attention, because oftentimes the brain doesn't really know.
Well, and the brain might try and stop listening.
The brain might try to control.
Yeah, it absolutely might. And I just want to give a quick shout out over at TFR Live and say, hey, welcome back.
Welcome
we are
back.
really glad you are here, and welcome to explore the mysteries in this extraordinary new year, new decade, profound shift. You know, Sri, I'm looking at our very full call board, and we've had so many people calling. All of our shows have been so full. And remember, guys, this is only part one. Tomorrow, you want to make a note. Join us live at noon Pacific time tomorrow at onenesstalkradio.com, BBS Radio, all of the YouTube channels. But, you know, Sri, before we go any further and talk more about these energy flows, show you guys these energy flows, why don't we say hi to some of these beautiful beloved ones?
Well, where should we go here?
Wherever your heart is going, right there. It looks like you're going to New Jersey.
New Jersey.
It looks like New Jersey. Namaste, New Jersey. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Hi.
I'm excited to be here. So I was hoping to ask a question, or perhaps get a reading. I'm not really sure which one is best. But it's kind of interesting. I've been reading your books. It just came out at me. I asked my angel in a used bookstore a few years ago what I needed to read. And the 2012 book came out at me. And in my head, I'm like, 2012, that's so long ago, you know, that doesn't make sense. And it was like, no, you need to read this one. And I took the book, and, you know, I've read several others since then, and I feel really deeply connected to this. I work at Gaia TV, which also just, the goal is to expand consciousness, basically, is where I work. But the thing is, I'm still struggling personally. In 2012, I got extremely ill. And the year wasn't lost on me. You know, I was aware at the time, like, that was a changing time. And the good news is that the past year I've done so much. Well, I've done such great work over the years, but this year my healing really just, something lifted, and I'm feeling a lot better. However, I still have a whole bunch of symptoms that makes me think that I'm not getting my nutrients properly. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of work in so many ways in my life. I mean, I've become an herbalist. I've become a Reiki master.
Right on.
And my life is great. And, you know, I'm doing my spiritual work. And for some reason, there's something that's missing in me being able to, I feel like it's me being able to digest my food, and I'm not sure why. And I don't know if, you know, they said you could do little mini readings. I'm not sure, you know, if either one of you had any insights to this.
Well, we have quite a few. And first of all, my angel, always perfect, right?
Thank you
know,
for sharing.
Thank you so much, because as you're sharing, I'm hearing so many others that are tuned in right now going, yeah, right, me too, me too. Now the first thing I want to share with you, just tongue in cheek, is that the biggest mistake Sri and I ever made was by putting 2012 in the title of those books. and we will correct that soon, I promise you. Because as you know, those books were were not about 2012 at all. They were about the evolution of consciousness. And so thank you for trusting your heart and your guides, number one. And the reason I wanted to start there was because you have a connection that is so strong and so solid, and you've been acting on it, yet the whole time you were talking, I giggled when you finally talked about the digestion. Your third chakra is not sure what to do right now. In other words, your third chakra of the body is saying to you, I am here and I am ready to assist your physical body to be stable so that you are free to soar up into the ascended chakra system. And that's known as the ignition of the divine galactic blueprint. Now, go to SriandKira.com under the Yoga of Self-Ascension and really go read about the divine galactic blueprint, because what I'm seeing in you right now is that it begins by bringing our heart into the ascended energy state. You've done that. You've put your heart in the ascended energy state. However, you're stuck. You're stuck between what do I do with my body and what do I do for my next evolution of who I am? And so very literally, you're not digesting because the body doesn't know what you want it to do. This is exactly what we were talking about in the first half of the show today. So a couple of things right away, and then I'm going to let Shri share a few other things with you. Number one, I strongly suggest a bathtub or even getting into a pool or a big body of water. And when you're in that water, you bring your hands to your third chakra, and the only thing on your conscious mind should be, I love you. I love you. I love you. And if I have done anything to send you a signal that I do not love you, then feel my heart right now. And then to recognize that you are, this is what I went through, sweetheart. I mean, I'm 45 pounds lighter in not too many months. Your physical body may invite you to actually shift even more what you're ingesting. You've got to let go of what the mind thinks you need and let the body show you. You might wind up dropping down to water for a day or two. You might be looking at some other options in your life. So the key right now is to let the body lead. This is that trust we were just talking about, because you have done so much. Your life is extraordinary and you are getting ready to go on a ride. Wow. And so the soul is right there saying, hey, if you let me, I'm ready to help this go even further. So this is exactly what we have been talking about. And I love that you're our first caller. And Shri, did you want to share anything else?
Well, let me just offer a couple
Please do.
Pieces that will be useful for you and others, I hope.
Yeah.
The first thing is digest.
Yeah, thank you.
Digestion.
Yeah.
Your stomach is about control. The stomach breaks down the things you eat convert them to energy. So the symbology of the stomach is, do you feel in control or out of control?
Yeah.
And that's one issue to have a look at in your life. The other thing is, very coincidentally, the stomach is located right at the third chakra, is it not? And the third chakra, the primary energy there is about trust, as Kira was sharing.
And that's what we're all about right now.
So let's overlay the two of those together and say, if you're able to put a hand on your third chakra, maybe the other hand on your heart, and to breathe and to say, in this moment, I trust my life. I trust myself, and I will tell myself the truth.
And I trust my body. You're in that sacred union moment, and it is an honor to meet you. And I am so grateful that you called in, my love. Many, many blessings.
Good to be with you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. Whew. So let's all take a breath into that, Shri, because I know a lot of people are moving through this, and let's go ahead right now, and I want to put up the energy flows for 2020, because I know all of you are feeling this energy. And so let's take a look at this. So as you know, every year I put out a chart for the energy of the year. And this year's looks very different than last year, right? This year, as Shri and I already mentioned in the first half of the show, it's all about cycles. It's a circular energy because of that 4 and the double cosmic energy that's saying, come into the still center, come into the still center. Now, if you look at this overview, you'll see that we have January through August, and all of the months are shown as cycles. Every month is going to be this invitation to stay in the perfect balance. Remember, the overarching of the year is perfect balance. And then we also have this beautiful flow energy coming in with the year of the rat. And that's going to really be escalating near the end of the month, starting at January 25th. But when we look at these energy flows right now, what I want to bring to your attention is you see the square around January, February, September, and then there's another square July, August, December. Well, if you look at the quote unquote key on this chart, what that means is that these are the bookends of the year. January, February, September, July, August, December is when we're going to see the profound shift energy. Now, that does not mean that it's going to go away. What it does mean is that these months, these segments right here, these two Trinity energies are like the two pyramids, right? So now you're saying, but wait a minute, Kara, I see what looks like a pyramid in the middle there. Well, you notice that energy, the energy that comes up from the profound shift of January, February, September, and the profound shift of July, August, December rises up into the multidimensional space, into the heart of this dragonfly energy. And this is showing us this visionary transformation through timeline adaptation. And you'll notice that it crosses in both March and June. These are going to be months to really pay attention to this year because there's going to be a lot happening in those months. Yet, if you see the large, I call it kind of like the planetary cycle. It's like a cosmic cycle, right? This kind of cosmic egg energy. That is that awakening to self-ascension. Because this entire model is going to lift, already has lifted, into multidimensional presence. And so when we recognize that the energy flows of 2020 are basically saying you can look at this flatlined, and it's very much how it's going to feel. You can look at it flatlined, or you can lift into the multidimensional presence, which is the heart of the dragonfly, and literally be showered with the energy of your divine mastery as the experience, thereby anchoring this sacred union of the body of form with the spirit animator and soaring into the most extraordinary life, the most extraordinary year a lot of us have had in a very long time.
Yes, an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, one of the images that comes to mind from in my mind as I look at that beautiful drawing is because I've spent so many years on the ocean, is the waves.
Right, right.
You know, you have a peak and a trough or
Right.
flat, and surfers know that, you know, every you kind of count the seconds between the crests. And so those periods there of the beginning of the year and the end of the year are like the waves. And as we look at the ocean as a whole, we begin to see that we can be lifted and we can be moved, but we are still, the current is still carrying all of us, regardless.
Exactly. And so the key is, during this year, if you're feeling hopelessness, then you're in density. If you're in trust, then you're standing in the ascended state. This is a year that your divine nature has an opportunity. That's why we have this background today, to soar, right? To be the angelic presence and form, to soar, to dance. That's why we've been referring to this as the dance has begun. And Shri, let's say hello to another beautiful being.
Well, I tell you what should we try? And let's see.
We have so many here. He's having a hard time seeing. How about we go up to Canada? You want to go up to Canada? All right, from New Jersey to Canada. Namaste, Canada. Oh, there you are. Namaste. Welcome. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
We are doing amazing as well.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Second time getting through to you guys.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to talk to you. This is Michael from Canada.
Hey, Michael. Nice to see you again.
I was just hoping to get maybe another mini soul reading.
Well, thank you for asking. And, I'm enjoying the energy that I'm feeling flowing from you right now because, we were just talking about this hopelessness trust balance. And as I'm connecting with your energy field right now, there's 4 of them, which of course, right, perfect balance. there are these four beautiful beings, these ascended presence beings, literally behind you, in front of you, either side of you. And they're all whispering the same thing. They all just keep saying, we are here. And all you need do is breathe deeper and relax more. And as you do, the gateway opens and the path gets cleared. And so very much for you, a moment of saying, not only saying yes to who you are, it's also about saying yes to that which is presenting itself without hesitancy. Just saying, I will stay in this moment and I will allow this gift to unfold. And so thank you for bringing that energy to all of us today. We are so grateful to connect with you again, honey. Many blessings. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. Namaste. All right, Shri.
You know, it's kind of fun as you begin sharing with Michael.
Yeah.
About the 4, the clock just ticked in our computer clock at 4:44.
I love it.
And your
I
entire
love it. I
reading
love
was
it.
coming
It was
forward.
coming into 444. You got to love it. All right, now let's you want to go this unknown wireless caller. We have an unknown wireless
right,
caller.
hello. You
Hi,
shall
mystery
now
caller.
be known.
Namaste.
Yes, I got it again.
All right, yeah. Turn off the background computer.
So turn your
Yes,
radio.
I'm trying to do that. I was just doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, from New York. This is. I'm going to give you my spiritual name because I want to put it out there this year. It's Solia.
Hello.
Solia.
Namaste.
I never told my, I don't think, in the couple of times that I called in. Once for the lineage holder when I asked for the scholarship, and the last time was just before the end of the year. And now it's funny because guess what? I'm a metal rat.
Whoa, whoa, so am I. So am I. Hey, awesome.
My numerology, I don't really know ascended numerology, but I have an attitude of a 4. And so I don't really know. I mean, I'm not sure anything. I wish I had taken the ascended numerology, but I wasn't ready yet. So
No
hopefully
worries.
you'll give it again. Or, or can we
It's
take
home.
it online?
It's home
I mean,
study. Yeah, you can take it online anytime you want. It's in our home study classroom.
Great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask you about the mastery thing that you started today. I wanted to join, but I didn't quite understand it. If I don't really have a way to download an app, would I still be able? Would it help me to do that or should I wait till I can download the app to join the mastery program that does you do something once a month with them?
We do. You do. Yeah, you know what, sweetheart? Certainly the easiest way is to just download the app on your phone, and it's, Apple or Android, tablets or phones, Spiritual Mastery with Shri and Kira. And until that would happen, send us an email to support@selfascension.com, and we'll help you out. No worries at all. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was pretty extraordinary.
Can you reading? Because this is a new year.
Absolutely.
I really like one.
Oh, absolutely, sweetheart. So I want to invite you right now, hand on heart and hand on throat. Hand on throat. Because in this moment, the energy that's coming in around you is the energy that is saying, now that you have claimed the truth of who you are, prepare to let it flourish. And that it will be the union of your heart and your throat. And the archangelic realm refers to our throat as the truth chakra. And they're saying as your heart and your throat unify, your third eye will expand, your star consciousness will radiate, and your crown will be open to receive. And so I feel very much that this is a blessing for all of us that are connected here today. And thank you for bringing that in for each of us as we move forward on our journey. We love you, Angel, and I bow before your divine nature. Many blessings. Namaste.
I will be seeing you before the end of the year.
All right. Woohoo. Namaste. Namaste. Shri, it's amazing to me how quickly the show goes every single week. And I want to remind all of you that Shri and I last week talked about the perfect balance checklist. And I do apologize. We are a little behind right now with a lot of things because we still have 18 people here. But I promise this coming week, we're going to start getting all of this put up there. However, remember, go back and listen to last week's Explore the Mysteries. Listen to last week's Shri and Kira Live. Join us tomorrow at noon Pacific time because this is the perfect balance checklist is the year ahead. And the more that you can check in with yourself, the more that you stay, remember, it's a cyclical year. Check out the Bindi, staying in the center, right? So the more that we can stay in that still center and ascended presence, the greater the perfect balance will just illuminate and help and assist to transcend any sense of hopelessness into that divine trust that illuminates our sacred nature. So it's really a very robust moment. And remember, guys, this is an up-level moment. It's a huge up-level. And along those lines, Shri, I think we would be remiss if we didn't share with everyone that we were divinely guided that, 15 years ago, I had a misprint in our e-card. I said 10, but it was actually 15 years ago, 2005, that Shri and I first began our spiritual wandering with all these beautiful beings that have been with us on all these journeys, according to what the divine directors and the ascended masters and the archangelic realm have asked us to do. And our very first ascension portal that we opened in 2005 was at the Morai Circles in Peru. And it was an extremely powerful moment. And without taking a lot of our time, because we want to get to more of our callers, we have been asked to go back there this year. And so it has to be on 10/10. So on 10/10 this year, Shri and I will be with a beautiful group of beings that are saying, yes, I am ready to up-level ascended presence, not only for myself, but for the entire experience that we are all in right now. And this is more than the journeys we've taken before. As a matter of fact, it's unlike any journey we've ever taken, because it's going to be much more about interactive up-leveling attunements that are going to be done at many of these sacred sites.
A week of interaction and call it a week-long workshop while touring.
Exactly. And in addition to that, when Shri and I went in 2005 with that beautiful group of beings, one of the shamans that lived way up high in the Urubamba Valley heard that we were coming, literally walked 4 days to come be with us. We have sent out the message and he is coming back. So this is going to be an extraordinary journey, and it's filling really fast. If you want to join us in Peru, get to ShriAnkara.com, check it out. It is mega affordable. It is available. You have payment plans, whatever you need, but really feel into that, because this is the up level this year. Bear in mind that, when the full moon comes, right? When the full moon comes, it's that 3 days before, 3 days after. Well, my angels, we are in that 3 year, right? 2020, 2021, 2022. We are in the shadow of the ascended moment. It has already started. And so all of this up-leveling is going to take on a huge, fast bullet train feeling very, very quickly. And remember, we're going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be talking specifically about what's going on in this month and how that overlays. January 25th, when the Chinese zodiac christens that year of the rat, that's when there's going to be a massive amp, even in what's happening right now, because it is a metal rat. It's about flow. It's about water. And so there is just so much happening right now.
Truly amazing.
It's outrageous.
And
I mean,
so
it's hard to keep up with, right? That's why we have to stay in multiple dimensional space.
The one thing I just want to encourage everyone, keep staying connected to ascended frequencies, people that uplift you, places that uplift you, thoughts that uplift you, because everything else is heading the other way.
Well, that's true. And this is very much, again, those of you that have taken the 7 polarities, you know that there has been a lot going on there. And so, Shri, I just think we have to go to Ohio, and I think we have to say hi to Monica. Hey, Monica, namaste, welcome. It's the new year. We had to bring you in. Or not.
Hi,
Hi, sweetheart. Hi. We can hear you beautifully, sweetheart.
Oh, thank God. Happy New Year. Happy New Decade.
You too. You
Happy
too.
Year of the Metal Rat.
And to you. And to you, my love.
I rejoice it will be your year, Kira, and Shri as well as everyone. I love what you're sharing about the ascended moment being already upon us. And in light of that, I have some heart-related questions that I know you'll feel when you tune into it, and I would love a mini soul reading around it.
The answer I'm hearing very clearly is coming from, and I know you were with us this morning when we did the Mastery Mentorship team, because we had your questions come in. they just keep saying this over and over again. And it was the way that ensoulment ended. Relax into you. Relax into you. Relax into you. And they're just, I hear it like a vibration around you. And they're saying, relax, relax, relax into you. And get ready. It's like, I want you to see this background again. It's like, and get ready to be the illuminated angel in form that you already are, with even greater presence. And so it is. And my heart bows before you, and I thank you for sharing that with all of us today, honey.
I love it. I love the relaxed part. That was my favorite part. And thank you for your beautiful service to the world, Kira. I bow before your mastery and your love. My sincere gratitude and love around you and Sri.
Thank you, Angel.
Namaste.
Feel it returned 1,000-fold. Namaste. And Sri, I'm gazing up at the clock going, how does this happen?
It happens.
How does this happen? There, and for all of you that are on the phone lines right now, call us back tomorrow. I promise we'll get to
working
you.
on it.
We will get you on the show. 517-208-1500 tomorrow at noon Pacific time, when we dive into the energies of January and how the month ahead is going to affect everything and everyone and set the stage for the decade. I mean, check that out, guys. This is one of those giddy moments. I'm just jazzed.
Well, and I want to bring our attention back to the 7 polarities chart that
the Ascension escalator 2015 through 2022.
Because one of the things that struck me looking back now, it's a lot easier to predict the past. As I look
but we put this out in 2015, and I have to admit it blows our mind how incredibly accurate it's been.
And I'm still kind of finishing up all my sense of what 2019 was. But if we take a look at the density energy that we talked about in 2015 coming for 2019, now we look back at 2019.
So this is what we published in 2015 for what 2019 would be in the density energy.
In the fear-based density energy, that the number one issue would be political instability. Take a look at that. And a rise of corruption, and a decline in education, a decline in healthcare, and excessive taxation, that these are the issues that were coming forward in that year. Yet the balancing force of co-creation was about passionate action, was about living truth, learning self-love, discovering respect and harmony. And that these, you look at how these polarities balance each other. And the one thing I want to say to you so you stay focused is that one person bringing in the love, one person bringing in the passion,
just
offsets 100,000 that are caught in the density downward spiral. Your higher frequency is always felt and balances the greater good. So trust your flow, trust your love, and trust that everything is truly well.
And join us tomorrow at noon Pacific time. We love you. So much more to share. Welcome to 2020.
Namaste.
Namaste.